Namaskar to all my Kashmiri Baradari. As my tagline says, my anubhav or experience with Vatuk Bhirav, popularly known as Batuk Bhirav in other parts of the country during our Herath Pooja or Shivratri Pooja 2021. But before I jump to my anubhav, I think it's necessary to inform about my approach to this ritual. It's necessary to know that Bhairav is invoked for personal or family protection, and being a child form of Kal Bhairav, Vatuk Bhairav is preferred choice for householders and families. And Kal Bhairav is mainly invoked by hermits, and perhaps that could have been the reason why we were using Vatuk Bhairav. Mostly we were, all family, people in Kashmir most of the time. After practicing number of Kashmir called Tantra sadhanas, surprisingly, this is the only sadhana that brought results overnight. Yes, overnight. My personal experience. While other sadhanas, uh, takes at least 40 days of intense absorption with sankalp, even to show up some amount of indicative results, but not this one. From my personal experience, yes, it is possible to invoke and conclusive make this higher dimensional energy to prove his presence by even might be even altering the things physically around you. And why it is so potent or effective, I still do not know. And it looks more like a crisis management system developed by some of our ancient tantra sadhaks. Now here's the news. Herath Puja is 100% Tamasic Tantra ritual, period. That's how it was designed. I'm sure we all know at some point of a time we used to offer even non-veg bhog right into the ritual. Perhaps due to the influence of maybe the Vaishnavism from the mainland India at some point, the point of time down the line, caused some alterations into this ritual, because original Kashmir, used to be all tantric nature. Our rituals used to be purely tantric in nature. And please note, any tantric practice, especially the tamasic ones, uh, do not have any scope for alterations. They bring very quick results because tamasic practices bring quick results, but they don't have any scope of alterations, at least in its fundamental principles. If you want the results the way it was originally designed for, you have to stick to those principles at least. Look, I'm not trying to promote non-vegetarianism or criticizing a vegetarian approach. I'm talking purely in context of this particular ritual. That's it. Let us assume, you know, uh, you're a pure vegetarian and you are a caretaker of a zoo. Are you going to feed veg food to all the animals because you are a vegetarian? No. The way different species have their different diet requirements, similarly higher dimensional beings have their own nature. Some are sattvic and others are purely tamasic, and Bhairav is purely tamasic in nature. That's it. But the tamasic does not necessarily mean bad. Fire is actually tamasic, it burns and destroys. But if you know how to control fire, same fire can nourish you. You cannot live with fire without fire, right? This is what tantra is all about: controlling and manipulating the higher dimensional energies to your spiritual and worldly pursuits. Now here's a disclaimer: tantra rituals, especially the tamasic ones, is actually playing with fire. It can bring unwanted results if performed without the protection of Guru Mantra. And I personally recommend Guru Mantra from Tantra lineages. There are lineages like Vamachar, Samyachar, Chinachar, Kapalik, even Kolachar. Perhaps, possibly, this could be one of the reasons why this practice was moved, towards sattvic nature, maybe to accommodate people who did not have the backing of Guru Mantra due to the changing lifestyles, down the line, so many years later. I personally decided to pick up Kolachar, and the reason is this system was very much predominant in ancient Kashmir, and to me, I have reasons to believe all other Tantra lineages have their roots in Kolachar itself. For example, if you read Tantralok or Tantrasar, written by Abhinav Gupta, a well known 10th century mystic of Kashmir, right? He mentions Kolachar many places throughout his narration. Even he attributes his birth to a Kola ritual performed by his parents through a Yogini Shakti. Now let me come back to my Anubhav. Although there is a pledge we Tantra practitioners take not to share any of such Anubhav, publicly. However, for the sake of my community, I have sought special permission from my Guru to reveal one or two from many of the interactions, with this energy. If you join a tantra school, one, a main ancient tantra school, I should say, the significant ones, one of the methods that they deploy to check if your sadhana has been accepted, or the sankalp which you have taken for 40 days, 20 days, has been accepted after completion of any anushthan, is that you are supposed to keep a coconut alongside, the kalsh, during the practice, and you have to give that internal dharana, or expect this incoming energy to crack this hard shell only, external shell, not inside. The soft shell should not crack, on the crown, to indicate his presence. I'll just give you one example. Now this is the one which happened in with me during my Herath Puja. As you can see, this is a crack, and this is how it came out. Very swiftly, I just removed it with my hand after that. And it creates a big noise. Everybody in house will hear when this happens. Uh, this crack should take place in a circular shape, as in this picture. And if it cracks vertically, that's not a good sign. Um, that's not a good, as I said, there is no scope for mistake in tamasic rituals. Finally, at the end, I must admit, I myself found it, little difficult to offer meat right into the puja due to years of our prejudice, created by our family and society towards the meat offerings to our deities. It looks very difficult. However, since I have Guru Mantra protection alongside, I decided to do an experiment. And the experiment was, I offered alcohol instead. And believe me, this was explosive. But I again insist not to try this unless you have your back covered, or somebody among us is already doing it. Do not try it unless and until you have some kind of a protection, as I said earlier. I shall be very happy to interact with people who are interested in this subject. I know there are people who know much more about me. They don't come out. I have actually even discussed this matter with people who have actually kind of guided me into this direction. And finally, because I saw some amount of personal experience, as I said, many, I would, in later videos, the people who are connecting, I can, show more proofs. Yes, it is possible to invoke Bhairav, and he will stay with you if you want, with some more austerities, and he will keep, giving you signs that he is still there in your house. So this is very much possible. With this, I should say namaskar for now, and please look forward for more videos on Tantra Yoga sadhanas. And please join my channel if possible. Kola Tantra is the name, and that should be nice. Thank you. Namaskar so much to all my baradari. Namaskar.